Good morning, guys, and happy Sunday. It's the end of the weekend, unfortunately, but it's only 8 a.m. where I'm at right now, so I've got all day to film this. Anyways, if you clicked on this video, you either know me or you're concerned for me. You are also struggling with the topic of this video and you want a different perspective, or you have no idea what the heck I'm talking about or what the title of this video means and you're just clicking because you're intrigued. Either way, let's just get into it. So, background information. Hi, my name is Lexi. I'm an athlete, a student athlete. I'm sorry. Anyways, it all started in 8th grade when I don't even remember when I started doing competitive karate. But basically, I would train for, I think, up to 8 to 10 hours a week. And I competed internationally. 7th grade, I started doing karate, but then I got really serious within 8th grade, training those long hours. I remember I would train 3 hours on Saturdays, 3 hours straight. We were jumping around all the time and sparring and just doing a lot of cardio and high intensity, like long endurance events. After a couple months or a year of doing that, like I was freshman year in high school, I lost my cycle. I didn't think anything of it. I was just like, I feel fine. And I didn't really have much knowledge about it. So I was just like, oh, okay, well, less bleeding for me, so that's less pain for me. I kept going on and eventually I quit karate because I wanted to try something new, like do my own thing. Competitive karate is very stressful and my parents were seeing that it affected me and they wanted me to focus more on school. And so fast forward sophomore year, I started running. I just started running on my own a little, but I hated running. Dude, in 4th grade, I ran a 12-minute mile. I could not run for the life of me. I'm naturally not a runner. I'm naturally not fast. I don't have any talent in running whatsoever. But I started running and my friend was like, oh yeah, you should join cross country. So I was like, I've always deep inside I've always wanted to join cross country, but I always thought oh no, I'm just not good enough for it. I can't run, I don't have the speed. So I joined cross country and I made a lot of friends and it was really fun, even though I was the only girl on the team for a while. It was really fun and I did have a great experience with it. The first year, sophomore year, I had no education on running whatsoever. I didn't know what I was doing. Of course, I had a great coach and I had great friends who led me to the way. They helped me with that, but there's only so much you can touch on as a coach. Every single body is different, so I didn't understand how much energy running demanded. So I lost a lot of weight. It wasn't a huge amount of weight. I keep thinking, it's not even noticeable because I'm really short and stuff. But when I look at photos of me from 8th grade, I was like, oh, I look quite different. So I'm not gonna go into details. I'm not gonna say numbers because obviously I don't want to trigger anyone. I remember my sophomore year of running, I got really injured. My right shin was really messed up and my left knee also got really messed up. So because of that, I was out for literally more than half of the season. It was bad. And also my body wasn't used to running. I never ran long distances before and I've never really run ever in my entire life until now. So I was low-key cooked. Yeah, so I was injured for a really long time and one thing I noticed is it took me forever to heal. And now that I think about it, I was struggling with a lot of things too. I still lost my cycle. I haven't gotten it back since around 8th grade. Sometimes I would get a little bit every now and then, but I didn't get a full-blown cycle for up to now about 3 years. And that's not normal. That's not normal at all. It's common. It happens to a lot of long endurance female athletes, but it shouldn't be normalized. You need to get that checked out. I was tired a lot. I wasn't really improving with anything. I was getting weaker. I used to hit the gym a lot. During the karate days, I went to the gym 3 to 4 times a week and I did heavy weights. And all those heavy weights dropped about half. I was getting really weak. My hair was falling out. I was having a lot of hormonal issues. I had really bad acne, and I still struggle with it a little bit. It's getting better, but no matter how healthy I ate, no matter what I did, it's still there. My growth was stunted. That's probably why I'm so short. Yeah, just a lot of things like that. I also wasn't motivated. I was very burned out of school and I was a little depressed and I was just numb, I wasn't really there mentally. I was really pale. I remember the end of sophomore year, the end of the first semester, December, I was white as a ghost and I couldn't even focus. I don't know how I got through my finals. I don't know how I still got good grades, but I was just exhausted, like mentally and physically, and I was always cold all the time too and stuff. And so I was like, okay, well, whatever. Like, overall, I feel pretty good. I feel energized, so like there shouldn't really be anything wrong with me. But my parents were concerned, so we went to a doctor and we got blood work. So when we got blood work and we got the results, all my hormones were basically non-existent. I was basically in the pre-menopausal range for estrogen, progesterone. Basically, that means that your body's not making hormones, therefore you're not having a cycle. And the reason why my body was not making hormones is because I was not eating enough. I was under fueling without knowing, and I was basically just stunting my own growth and stunting everything. And I was like used to it, you know? So I was like, that's weird because I feel fine. But then the doctor said something that really opened my eyes. She said, this might be your feeling of fine, but you're just used to it. Like, you don't know what normal feels like. Imagine how much faster you could be. Imagine how much stronger you could be. Imagine just how much better you could feel if your hormones were normal for a teenager your age. So after that, I went to a dietitian because I was not educated on that, and I was like, okay, well, I do want to fix this. Like, I want to get better. So long story short, she gave me great tips, and I started incorporating many things that I'll be sharing with you guys. Of course, disclaimer, I'm not a doctor. I'm not a medical professional, even though I aspire to be one day. So please, if you're concerned about your health, go to a doctor, because I'm not a doctor. I'm not here to diagnose you. I'm just telling you my experience, and if you're worried, then hopefully this motivates you to go get some help. So I fixed my diet. I fixed my sleeping habits. Oh yeah, another thing, it was really hard for me to sleep. Like, I had insomnia. I always wake up throughout the night and I would feel wired. Like, I wouldn't feel tired, and I just couldn't go back to sleep. My cortisol is like through the roof, so we need to figure out why it's doing that. So fast forward, I did my track season and I was eating very well. I was taking all my vitamins, taking all my supplements, calcium, vitamin D, and I was injury free for the whole season. That is until at the end of the season, my shin got messed up again. I made it to state, and it was my first year of running track. I was like the last person to make it to state for the 3200. And on the day of state, I was in so much pain I couldn't even run it. Fast forward to junior year cross country. I had actually a very good season this year, and I'm very happy because I also made it to state, and I was able to race in state this time. And I was happy with my progress. One thing I would say is I did not improve as much as I wanted to improve. Like, I did get a PR, and I improved a lot compared to last year, but I've been very consistent with training, and I didn't improve as much as I wanted to, especially because I kind of got a similar time to when I was training on my own as my PR. So I was thinking, okay, well, that's weird, like something else is going on. And during this time, I still wasn't getting my cycle. I never really got my cycle back. Fast forward, it's winter season. And this literally just happened recently. I got really injured on my right shin. I almost got a stress fracture. It was my fault because right before state for cross country, I signed up for a half marathon. It was like November 10th. But I did the half marathon and I loved it. It was amazing and I felt great. But then after that, I didn't really rest. I took like a couple days off of running, and I think I should have taken a longer time off of running because I didn't fully rest, and I started getting pain in my right shin, and I ignored it because it would only hurt when I pressed on it. Like, it wouldn't hurt when I was running. So I was thinking, oh, maybe it's just like scar tissue or whatever. I don't know. So I kept running and running, and then it started to ache and it would hurt at night. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna take 2 weeks off of running. So I took 2 weeks off of running and the pain went away completely. So I started running again. However, when I started running, I went back way too quickly. I went straight to like some track workouts and stuff, and that was a really stupid idea because then the pain came back. Surprise, surprise. So after that, it was getting pretty bad, and I was like, Mom, I'm kind of worried. I think it could possibly be a stress fracture because it hasn't healed at all. I thought it healed completely, but it's still there even though it's been 3 weeks now. So we went to the doctor and he put an x-ray on me. Nothing showed up, so we went to the MRI and it showed a stress reaction. It was basically a shin splint, except the bone was inflamed too. So the bone was swollen. So it was like the first stage of a stress fracture. So if I kept running on it, it would have cracked. But luckily, there was no actual crack on the bone. So fast forward a couple of weeks later, I go to a follow-up with my doctor, and based on everything he's seen, like all like my previous blood work and my recent injuries and the fact that I'm not getting a cycle, he diagnosed me with relative energy deficient syndrome, or REDS. And basically what that is, it's a condition where you are not meeting your energy needs and it builds up over time, which leads to hormonal imbalances, and it causes your system to just not work the way it should. And it happens in both men and women. However, it's much more common for women. And it's pretty common in cross country. It's pretty common in long endurance events and sports, especially for high schoolers or college students. Does that mean it's normal? No, and it should stop being normalized because this is not healthy, and anyone who's struggling with this needs to get help. So basically, that's why the doctor thinks I keep getting injured, and that's why the doctor thinks that I lost my cycle, because I'm not eating enough. So based on everything I've learned and everything I've been through, I want to help you guys by showing you and giving you some tips on what to do and what not to do. I hope this helps you. And before I get on with the video, if you're my friend and you're seeing this, you're gonna get mad, but I'm not doing track this year, and I probably won't be doing any more running sports.
Are you serious?
Because of this, actually. And also, I want to run on my own. I want to run half marathons, and you're probably thinking, well, that's contradictory. Like, you just said you're not doing track, you just said you're not doing cross country. Why would you do even longer distances, blah, blah, blah. Well, here's the thing. When I do my own training, I can listen to my body, you know? When I do things in, like, team settings, like, I love team sports, don't get me wrong, but it's just so much pressure. It gives me more stress. Like, I have to beat the school record for the mile. I have to beat the school record for the 3,200. I have to do this. I have to do that, and all that. It's just too much stress. I got really burned out of running, and in Arizona, cross country is terrible. We would do races in 100-degree weather. That definitely took a toll on me, and it probably took a toll on everyone too. So I want to be able to enjoy running again, and I want to see it as an outlet, not as something that I have to do. And I know people are going to be like, oh, well, track makes you better for half marathons because you need to develop your speed. Whoa, I see what you're saying, but like, I'm not trying to be the fastest person in the world. I'm not going to be the fastest person in the world, and I don't strive to be the fastest person in the world. I just want to literally have fun and just run half marathons. Like, sure, like, I don't mind setting some PRs, but I just want to do it for the fun of it. It's my outlet, and it's like my meditation. And I don't want cross country to take that away from me, especially right now with my health issues. So I want to take care of that and just slowly start easing back into running again. Listen to my body and be able to do that without having to worry about PRing the next meet, racing every single week. So that's my explanation. On to the video. So the first tip I'm going to give is focus on adding more into your diet instead of restricting. For example, if you have a yogurt bowl, instead of just adding fruit and peanut butter, try to add more sustenance to that. Try to add something that will give you more energy and increase your performance. For example, you can add more granola, flax seeds, chia seeds. You can add protein powder to it. You can add even more fruit, like just little things like that. It adds up over time. Next, there's nothing wrong with balance. Eat foods you enjoy because you're not going to want to eat if everything tastes bad to you. So learn how to cook, add more fats to your diet. It's very crucial for your hormonal balance because if you eat more fats, you will definitely have more energy and you'll feel better. Of course, healthy fats. Another tip is to eat more frequently throughout the day. For me, I like to have smaller meals more frequently throughout the day because I get full easily. So when you get full easily, like try to just have smaller meals with energy-dense foods that are easier to digest, such as olive oil and peanut butter, or just high-carb foods with a good amount of protein as well, depending on when your training is, and that'll just help you to feel more energized without feeling overly stuffed. Speaking of feeling overly stuffed, if you have a practice in the afternoon and you don't want to feel heavy or have stomach issues, what I would usually do during trek is I'd have a really large, dense breakfast with all the good stuff, and then I'd have a lighter lunch like a sandwich with easy digestible carbs such as bread or rice with lean protein, deli turkey. And then after practice, I would have a large meal with a ton of stuff, ton of carbs, good fats, and of course I would have snacks throughout the day to sustain my energy that easily digested. It's all about experimenting with your body and see what works best for you. Next, and I just recently started doing this, add liquid calories. Drink milk, drink smoothies. I have started like drinking matcha with almond milk, and I add some maple syrup to that, and I try to add some even peanut butter to it. It's really good. So don't skimp out on that. Just adding small things will definitely help you increase your calories and get the energy you need. So I think liquid calories are very important, especially if you have no appetite. The next tip I have is try to experiment with fueling during endurance activities. See what works best with your stomach and use it because it's really important You don't want your energy reserves to get too low, especially if you're trying to maintain healthy hormones. So when I started doing this, I started, using gels during my runs, my long runs, or even sometimes during track workouts, and it really helped me a lot. It made a big difference in my performance, and it made me become even a better athlete. And the last, but definitely most important tip, or one of them, always eat something before training, especially if it's in the morning. No matter what I'm doing in the morning, if I'm doing cardio, I'm going to eat something before, because I noticed that I don't feel hangry afterwards, I have more energy for my workout, and everything just goes much smoother and much better. And it might be hard for you to wake up and eat that early, but once you train your stomach to do it, it gets much easier, and it's 100% worth it, because it definitely increases your energy expenditure, and it allows you to do so much better as an athlete while maintaining healthy hormones. Those are all the tips that I have for you today, and I really hope you enjoyed this video. Make sure to give it a like and subscribe, and hopefully I can start running more again soon, and I'm very excited to take you guys on this journey with me. So I hope you guys all have a great day or night wherever you are, and thanks for tuning in. Peace out!